City of Ghosts by Victoria Schwab, with permission of the publisher Scholastic, Chapter 13. We bolt through the maze of underground alleys. I can feel the ghosts behind us, hear them coming, but I don't look back, feet carrying me over rough stone, through doorways and rooms and down corridors. At last I spot a set of stairs. Up, that's all I can think, up. Every step takes us further from Mary King's Close and its ghostly mob and that horrible wave of feelings. Halfway to the street, the veil thins enough for me to reach out and grab the curtain, which is finally cloth again, and force it aside. We tumble through, out of the veil and back into a world of pale light and fresh air. I gasp at the cold in my lungs, the sense of surging up from deep water. The weight of Jacob's hand is gone, but he's still there beside me. Sunlight filters through him as he leans back against the alley wall. I look around, lost. Well, not lost. It's hard to get lost when you can hear the noise of the Royal Mile in the distance. Plus the ground slopes beneath me so that up leads to one place and down to another. I'm not lost, but I don't know where I am either. I was so focused on getting out of Mary King's Close, out of the Vale, that I didn't pay attention to the route. I must have taken a different set of stairs, because Jacob and I are now standing on a narrow street I've never seen before. It's 3 parts grey stone to 1 part grey sky. There's no bustle, no noise. I slump back against the wall and slide down until I'm sitting on the ground, which is probably unsanitary, but I don't care. My skin feels like it's coated in cobwebs, and every time I blink I see the ghosts, the way they looked at me with their want and their anger and their fear. I've been in plenty of haunted places, but I've never been to a place where the veil is stronger than I am, stronger than Jacob. He's standing over me, arms crossed, and I wish for once that I could read his mind, because I sure can't read his face. We should have just gone for a walk in the city, I say at last. He sighs and crouches down beside me. Makes you miss creepy students in burning auditoriums, doesn't it? I try to smile. We sit for a moment, quiet, except for the seagulls overhead and the faraway sound of bagpipes. You okay? Jacob asks, which I appreciate. He knows I'm not, but he still asks, and I know that if I lie, he won't call me out on it. We'll just pretend that we're normal, that he's not a mind-reading ghost, and that I'm not, whatever I am. That I'm not drawn towards places full of death like a rock rolling down a hill, constant as gravity. What's wrong with me? Where should I start? He teases. I shoulder him, feel a prickle of cold as my arm goes straight through my sleeves. That tickles, he says, getting up. He holds out his hand, and I wish I could take it. Instead, I push off the wall. I'm halfway to my feet when Jacob glances to his right and says, "No way." I follow his gaze and see a girl crossing the road. I recognise her instantly. The brown skin, the black hair pulled back in a neat braid. The girl from Lane's End, Laura Jane Chowdhury. As she walks, she holds a necklace in one hand, the mirror pendant spinning and her fingers catching the light. What is she doing? Wonders Jacob as Laura slips around a corner. No idea, I say, straightening up, but I want to find out. We follow her, rounding the corner just in time to see Laura stop, glance left and right, and then disappear. Right out of the street, into nothing, which isn't possible. Unless, starts Jacob, I finish for him, unless she's like me. I remember the feeling of recognition, the way Laura looked at me and seemed to hear Jacob when he laughed. Do you believe in ghosts? She'd asked me. I cross to the spot where she'd vanished and can feel the ripple of the curtain as it settles back into place. Laura didn't step into nothing. She stepped into the veil. And I'm already reaching out for it when Jacob cuts in front of me. No, he says, did you forget what just happened? Did you forget the part where we got stuck? Of course not, I say, the memory of the ghost still fresh. But I've never met someone like me. I have to see, have to know. I catch hold of the curtain, pulling it aside. You could stay here, I tell Jacob, and for a second I think he's really going to, as if he can't hear my thoughts, pounding with my pulse. You can stay, but I don't want you to. Jacob huffs. Rule number 9, he grumbles, following me through. The veil's thinner here, the transition easy. The chill in my lungs is barely a breath, a shiver, and then it's gone. pass through. My feet land on old stone streets, the light shines from my chest. Beside me, Jacob is solid and solidly ticked off. He gestures around at the alley. Well, it's empty. No Lara, no ghosts. Nothing but a thin mist. But that's not possible. I saw her disappear. I saw... A familiar English accented voice cuts through the silence. Watch and listen. The words carry on the air, and when I follow them around the nearest corner, I see Lara standing at the bottom of a short set of steps. Her back is to us, and she's greyed out the same way I am, with the same burning light inside her chest. And there, sprawled back against the stairs, as if trying to escape, is a ghost. A man my father's age. He's got a short beard and a long coat that pulls around him like a shadow. Lara's necklace dangles from her outstretched hand, mirror side hanging in front of the ghost like a hypnotist's pendulum, only it's not swinging side to side. It's not moving at all. It stays perfectly still, and so does the man. Jacob's gone rigid beside me. I hold my breath. See and know, continues Lara. The words sound almost like a spell. Maybe they are a spell, because the ghost stays there on the steps as if pinned. Lara stands tall, fingers splayed as she recites the third and final line. This is what you are. The air ripples with the force of the words, the whole veil shuddering. As I watch, the ghost goes thin, like glass and fog instead of flesh and bone. I can see straight through him, can see the thing coiled in his chest, a coil of rope, a ribbon, like mine, but without the light. Lara reaches in and pulls the ribbon out. The end snags in his chest, but she gives it a swift tug. The dark thread comes free in her hand, hanging limply from her fingers for a moment before crumbling away to ash. An instant later, the man crumbles too, just falls apart. 1 second a ghost, and the next gone. A breeze sweeps through the alley, sudden and unnatural, and blows the dust away. Jacob lets out a small gasp, and Lara's head snaps up. I shove Jacob sideways behind the corner and out of sight as she turns, brushing the last bits of dust from her hands. I stare in shock. She gives me a long, measured look, her brown eyes unblinking. "What?" she says at last. "You act like you've never seen a ghost hunter before."